Hello, this is Mingrelia, back for another video, and since this is a special one, it will be another hour long. This will not be normal. This is special because I break up from the holidays. So, Alexa, set a timer for 1 hour. Alexa, set a timer for 1 hour.
1 hour, starting now.
Probably won't be the full hour because the thing cuts parts where I'm too quiet, but mostly it does. But you get to what when I break up from the holidays. Also, I will give a Christmas message of something. Probably just saying thank you to all the people who've commented and to people who subscribed that I have knowledge of. Anyway. Let's continue in pushing the Bosphorus's borders. There's a similar communist group has taken up in Antioch, or in Turkish, Ishkenderun, the Arab Revolutionary Armed Forces, and Khalid Bakdash. If they go to war with Syria, I'm supporting them. Just saying. But to help my fellow commies out, am I right? Well, except for Indo-Chinese, they automatically peace out in 1955, and the Chinese Civil War was doing pretty damn well for the communists, so I don't really care about that. Industrial question. With reactionary Turkish state in shambles, her industry lies ripe for the taking. Many Kremlin, including the up-and-comer Koskin, believe it's just like a Germany Turkish industry with transfer for USSR for safekeeping. Though Pavel Batov, the head of the occupation government, has personally written to Comrade Stalin expressing the need to utilize the might of the Soviet Union to build a new Turkish state into a juggernaut while more expensive. If he believes the rapidly decreased hostility between the Turkish people and the socialist government leading to a more stable country in the future. St. Costigan. And the borders have been pushed. Before I do any of that jazz, the Khabarovsk war crime trial. 11 members of the Japanese Kuomintang army are set to be tried today for their crimes and involvement in the chemical and biological weapons programs. So we've got a new Turkish state led by Vasily Chirikov. So we need them to follow Stalin's orders. So I'll be watching Turkey on this one. If they're going out of line, I'll put them back in it. Also, the German Democratic Republic will soon be formed. The GDR or DDR. the German Democratic Republic, or in German the Deutsches Demokratische Republik, or as known as East Germany, was founded in the Soviet-occupied zone of Germany today. The establishment of the GDR seals the division of Germany that has happened in 1945. West Germany has already gained independence from occupying powers earlier in 1949. Creation of East Germany meant for the same and former Soviet zone, although the same means the same for Soviet, although the ruling Socialist Unity Party of Germany maintains close ties to the USSR and was therefore seen as a satellite state. There goes for unification. The Socialist Unity Party, or the Socialist Einheit Party, German Deutschland, or the German Socialist Unity Party under Wilhelm Pieck. Now they can either cite Stasi or the National Front de GDR, or GDR. They are probably just going to random focus. Yeah, socialist real, like, last resort thing. Crack my knuckles like a champ. Dimitriek appearance before the CWIC naming communist. Director Edward Dimick appears before the House Un-American Activities Committee to provide testimony on communists in Hollywood. The director has previously refused to testify and has been arrested for 1 year as a result. He claims that communists used him for its own propaganda purposes, and now he's gladly testifying. During his electric testimony, Dmitry admitted to briefly joining the Communist Party of the United States of America in 1945 and went to list 21 communists, including 7 directors. Dmitryk revealed the discovery of a communist spy cell in the federal government and international communist aggression, as well as major factors in the decision testifying. More fuel for the fire, and it's probably all fake too. Okay, that's not helpful. We'll watch on them still. The Kharkov war crimes trial. The industrial city of Kharkovsk of Far East war crimes trial are being held against 12 members of the Japanese Kuomintang army accused of manufacturing and using bioweapons during the Great Patriotic War. All of the accused have been found guilty and according to sentence to 2 to 25 years in a labor camp. The accused include General Otozo Yamada, commander of the Kuomintang, as well as several generals in charge of the infamous Unit 731. The other medical and other medical departments. Their crimes caused the death of thousands, and these trials have been well worth the cost. The punishment they deserve. Punish Khrushchev for his failures. Khrushchev's failures as chairman of the Moscow Party has come out, and we must punish fairly for his mistakes. This will not be tolerated. What are our other members doing? Greece is purging remaining fascist collaborators. Hungary is improving Soviet Lurchov LA-9s. You're doing submarine investments. You're still making an army. You're encouraging peasant migration. You're a drought-stricken farmers. You're getting a surplus of LA9s. You're still under our control. You're getting some ground, bringing an army. You're getting some more fighters. You're doing socialist realism still. Basically, same thing I've been doing, but now with European ones. Yeah! Good. Follow my orders, damn it. Further investigate the Mingrelian affair. Another effort to undermine Beria we will attack his strongest supporters, the Georgian Mingrelia ethnic group. Hopefully, you will finally learn of his place after all. Place after this. Let's see what the US be doing. Okay. The Mingrelian affair. Leviti Beria, former NKVD head and current overseer of the state security, had proven to be a critical hatchet man for Joseph Stalin. He oversaw the Soviet nuclear program, the Leningrad affair, the dismantlement of the Jewish Anti-Fascist Committee. However, Stalin was growing increasingly paranoid of Beria, who was consolidating his own power while carrying out Stalin's orders. Stalin sought to cut Beria to size and focus on the Georgian Communist Party, where Beria had its strongest power base. A series of fabricated accusations were levied against leading Georgian party leaders, specifically accused by the Mingrelians, a Georgian ethnic group within the party employing with Georgian exiles and the United States to lead Georgia out of the Soviet Union. Resulting arrests and trial through 1951 to 1952 saw various supporters in the Georgian party purged, including First Secretary Kandi Charkievini. Although the purge was said to target Mingrelians, it did also target non-Mingrelian Georgians like Charkievini. Ultimately, the purge was more focused on limiting influence and power of Beria. Despite Stalin's attacks on his father, Beria still kept his popular position. Death traitors. Now, prepare North Korea. War in Korea. Kim Il-sung and his army has crossed the 38 parallel. Well, not yet. And is striking deep in South Korea. We have two choices: wait and see and what happens, and take a more active role and ensure the North's victory. Okay, 3 things just happened at the same time. 4 things. Okay, let's start with first. Kurdistan is now an independent country. The Kurdish Democratic Republic proclaimed its independence. The Turkish Socialist Republic and the Soviet Union both agree that Kurdish request for a new Kurdish socialist state. 8. The new government announced will begin a new era of socialist development and prosperity for Kurdish people. Its promised brotherly relations with all socialist states, especially its neighbors, regional states, especially those of large Kurdish minority, and expressing concern about the KDR may become a lightning rod for instability. The red tide expands. Burma recognized the People's Republic of China. Burma and the People's Republic of China. Speaking of this is now the Kurdish Democratic Republic's flag. They're also now making an air force by the Kurdish Workers' Party, or the P.K.K, or Partiya Kakaran Kurdistani. They need to get Prime Minister Ahmad Tawfiq in. Anyway, Burma recognizes the PRC. Burma and the People's Republic of China signed an agreement establishing formal ties between both states. Historically, Burma and China have led centuries of trade, linguistic, and religious links with one another. The decision makes Burma amongst the first non-communist state to recognize the People's Republic of China's government, and has led to some criticism of Western embassies. The Burmese government officials have generally say that China is a major trading partner and neighboring state to ignore. It would only cause mistrust and unnecessary problems. Interesting. Stefano Sarif has been executed and has now been replaced by Nikos Zachariadios. Rest in peace, my guy. We're definitely going to ignite some Greek patriotism. The Democratic Republic of Greece, or DRG. Actually, what? Let me get my phone. Greek name for it to actually get to be. Maybe a small thing, but still. Greek. Greece. Their technical name would be the LDE, not the DRG, because its name in Greek is the Liga Demokratia tis Eladas. So it would be the LDE, not the DRG. Now it's the execution of Stefano Sarif. Stefano Sarifis, who the GDR general staff during the Civil War, was killed and ordered by Chairman Nikos Zachariadias. The government claims that Sarif has questionable ties to overseas, and his motivations of joining the DRG was he's suspect. Government noted that Sarif was not a party member before the war and only joined it when captured, and I suspect the execution's move meant to consolidate the position of Zachariadis and as the head of both the party and the military. Concerning the Kefauver Committee, Senate Special Committee, Senator Kefauver, I'm pretty sure I said his name wrong, has begun hearings on organized crime in major provinces according to the United States Articles of 1949. Canada has already said he plans to interview over 500 people on topics of organized crime. Canada has publicly stated that he believes that a large Sicilian organization based on family ties operates a large mafia throughout the United States. The committee plans to nationally broadcast these hearings in the entire country, regardless of whether Kefauver's predictions is correct. This will go a long way to help understand and destroy the problem of organized crime in the United States. If there's a murder conspiracy, is there a criminal conspiracy in the United States? Who knew? Anyway, continue to help North Korea out. What you gonna do now? Send some aid for Eastern Anatolia. I remember the Greeks are supposed to have this bit. Oh yeah, they're also supposed to have Istanbul too. Set owner P.K.K. Never run it to the ball. First hack of the day, right? Set owner PDG. They should have Constantinople, Izmir, Bez. Yeah, they should have Izmir too. Set owner PDG. Also, canonically, we're supposed to have this too. Set owner Sov to debug. Got some stainless steel. And get some continuous pressurization. The Dutch-Indonesia Roundtable Conference concludes. Months of negotiations between the Dutch and Indonesian representatives ends at Riddersdal. Negotiations were incredibly difficult for both sides, were forced to make compromises. Representatives of both sides were reported to be fatigued but satisfied with the result. The Netherlands will feel sad that it left Indonesia with a firm agreement protecting its interests. Indonesia will welcome the end of the war and gain full sovereignty. The government across the wars are sending their crashing birth a new country. The Dutch will now work to rapidly transfer sovereignty. Freedom at last. Also, West Papua is now a thing, by Tony Lovnik. So, well done, Jakarta. Hope the communists don't try and overthrow your government. Because we will definitely help them do that. Preparing North Korea. Allow Kim to invade the south. There's nothing there. Probably wait till the Chinese Civil War ends actually for that one. Let's reinforce IOD rules in East Germany. So confiscating the Turkish gold reserve. The execution of Gandhi's assassins today. Nafroman gods, the Hindu nationalist who killed Gandhi, was executed for a number of murder of famed Indian independence advocate and freedom fighter Muhammad Hamdas Karamanchand Gandhi. He was found trial at the Punjab High Court at Peterhof, Shimla. Even though Gandhi's two sons, Manila and Ramas Gandhi, plead for his commutation, the Indian Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister and Governor General denied these pleas. The hanging was conducted in Ambala prison in East Punjab. Turbulent times in India. Jordan adopts the Jordanian dinar. An official message conveyed from the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, alongside former members of the Transjordan Caucus, announced the creation of the kingdom's official national currency, the Jordanian dinar. It is set to replace the previous Palestinian pound, a currency of the previous British Palestine administration of the region. Since Jordan's independence in 1946, ideas of the implementation of creation of a national currency were popular amongst all political spectrums. Currently, in 1949, the Provisional Act 35, responsible for the such creation of the currency, has been passed unanimously in the Jordanian expectations for the recently formed Jordan Currency Board suggest the dinar will be officially implemented on July 1st, 1950, officially seeing acceptance of the outdated British Palestine currency. The specifications of the current currency is, according to the Jordan Currency Board, suggests coins denominations of 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100 as the banknote. Denominations will include 0.5, 1, 5, 10, 20, and 50 dinars. Once more, all the world can witness the birth of a new currency. Indeed. What interesting. Wang Zhao is about to fall. The Turkish gold reserves confiscated. Reports of Turkey indicate the Soviet Union recently confiscated the gold reserves of the country. The Soviets claimed the confiscation was for the protection of the gold Turkish reserves from the potential hostile threat as repayment for the massive Soviet support. One official quietly noted the government providing aided gold to the Republic in its early years and has claimed to the reserves. The Turkish and Soviet governments are seeking to keep the news quiet as news spreads. Many Turks are expected to be alienated by the actions, though it is unsure that if they will act with either public protest, rather than governments already releasing statements condemning the action. Interesting. I don't care. Now they're going to finally establish the Socialist Republic of Turkey. And I'm going to see the bug tag KRD. This is going to make it like for a while. Crash. It did not crash, thank God. You're not doing that. You're getting Premier Ahmad Tawfiq. Speaking of which, this is the Turkish focus tree. They can Sovietize Turkestan, get money from Iran and Iraq, probably unlikely. I would go internationalist or Hoxitist in a way. We can also give them Ezerum with the memes. They detribalize and secure power. There will be a great drought. They can either give up their dream and rejoin Turkey, which I find is a terrible idea. Yeah. Where they can either join the USSR or join Turkey again. Probably wouldn't do that. I personally believe they would ignore Safik Hussein for obvious reasons, and try to deal with the famine or drought, where they can either reassess their nation, where they can go sort of Chinese, or double down, be more communist. And later they can plan to invade Iran, which is kind of cool. Tag Sov T debug. Alright, we're back. So what's happening in the rest of the block? You're doing coastal offensives, you're getting new housing instead of doing your actual focus tree or doing any of that, or the 2-year plan. You're instead getting the Platinum Bow housing. Alright. Czechoslovakia is enforcing the 9th of May constitution. Alright. You're just technically under our control, although we are getting the Austrian Democratic Republic. Hungary is getting an air force. You're making new trading partners, which is part of your focus tree. Romania is launching a collectivization campaign. You're still doing air defense. You're launching your first 5-year plan. Greece is founding the LEA, which will relate to their version of the NKVD. You're doing an army focus. You're actually founding your country, and I force you to get an actual leader. Titanium corrected, and it is pronounced titanium. Zhukov's image on this has disappeared for some reason. None we shall ever know. You want 8 volunteers. Gotta do something in these times of nothingness. So there you go. Get this war to end quicker, I guess. The modern landlines. My troops are there. That's probably why the lag spiked hilariously. Under Nikander Chibisov, you will help Chinese liberation, even if they want it or not. Provide military assistance to the Volk Police or People's Police. Yeah. The worldwide protest against the Bevin-Svoboda plan. Recently in May, the European drafted Bevin-Svoboda plan was published publicly. The plan was for a 15-year trustee of Libya. The Italians, well, the previous colonizers, would retain control of the main population centers, Tripolitania, while the UK and France will possess Tunisia and Fezzan. Respectively, this has created massive upheaval around the world, especially in the Arab world. The United States and the Soviet Union, France and Britain have gone a bridge too far. Personally, I like the idea. Italy still colonial power. France gets some more desert because no one's going to complain about a bit of desert. And hey, Malta is gets more control in the Mediterranean, which is so that they can get stuff from Gibraltar to Malta, to Tripolitania, and better to Cyprus, which is currently under carrying most of the east of the Mediterranean is a bit red right now, and not in the good kind. I mean, there's no technically good kind, but you get the point. Oh, you're doing some gold mining. You're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. You're doing forced industrialization. You're getting anti-air. You're doing nothing. You're doing a 2-year plan. You're doing nothing. Okay, King Farouk goes to France. The king has finally returned from his diplomatic trip to France. According to him, the trip was fruitful, will surely improve the relations between Egypt and France. However, anonymous sources say the trip was a massive failure. First of all, during the official party held in Paris, Farouk reportedly pickpocketed watches and wallets and cigar lighters. Then, during free time, he went on a 70-hour gambling rampage, during which he supposedly lost $150,000, got blackout drunk, and assaulted women for not sleeping with him. Of course, all of these are just rumors, and surely made by someone jealous of the king. I'm pretty sure he did it. There's a slight smile on the mustache that knows he's got away with it. Honestly, mad respect to him too. Anyway, interesting. Such a cool guy. Should we start doing something? What do you do? Strengthening the Yugoslav armies? I don't entirely know what to do. That means getting Soviet advisors for you, expanding the Marines for you, getting a better shipyard. People really like the seas nowadays. You're doing mining. You're still creating the Greek NKVD. You're still founding your country. You're just trying to find out your leader. The Republic of South Maluku, led by Chris Sumalku. You do not have a focus trait. Anyway, Senator McCarthy gives a Lincoln Day speech, an explosive speech in West Virginia today. During Lincoln Day, Senator Joseph McCarthy gave a piece of paper which he claimed had a list of 205 State Department workers suspected of being communists. He noted, despite being identified communist sympathizers, they remain in their positions and are shaping American foreign policy. Called for the federal government to stifle its resolve and remove all Congress centralized from federal agencies. The speech resulted in a lot of public attention, and McCarthy being amongst the leading anti-communist crusaders in the Senate. No, this won't. I can't speak today. This won't end well. Republic of South Maluku announced. I like South Maluku being independent. X wrote Indonesia. Damn it. I think the Maluku Islands should be independent. Anyway, other than personal bias, because I do believe in the independence of South Maluku. I also do believe the Donbass region should go to Russia. I also believe Chechnya should be an independent country. I also think Britain should have still had its empire, and believe the colonization was a complete disaster. But that's my personal appearances, and that's not really for this channel. Anyway, more important things is that it's now South Maluku. I always go as South Malacca, but hey, that's just how I say it. So it's just Maluku, but hey. In the light of the deteriorating political situation, the leaders of Maluku province have claimed their independence, with the Republic of South Maluku. Armed supporters of the movement have seized control of Ambon. Indonesian forces reported hit-and-run attacks occurring on Seram and the South Moluccan island. Protesters long served as the backbone of the colonial military. Malacca, and that's where I go because it's also known as South Malacca. Right. Long served as the backbone of the colonial military. After independence, most decided against joining the Indonesian army, fearing that it, as a Japanese Muslim-dominated institute, the armed fighters who took Abadan are said to be colonial soldiers in the process being demobilized. The Indonesian government has promised swift restoral of order while accusing the Netherlands of allowing former soldiers access to arms, and rebellion came before after news of a new Indonesian cabinet considers to dissolve itself and join the republic. Damn. If there's any consolation, technically Timor was briefly independent in the 60s, and the Indonesians invaded that till the 90s after several protests and other things, and the small-scale revolts. They managed to get independent again. I think Timor-Leste should have the entire island of Timor. Personal opinions, I know, shouldn't be on this channel, but yeah, you got it. Sometimes they appear. Not all of them are personal opinions. Some of them definitely are. Anyway, more importantly, the Netherlands transfer sovereignty of the Republic of Indonesia. Netherlands. Hello. The Dutch should still have West Papua. That's for me not putting it in historical. Yeah. The Netherlands transfer sovereignty of the Republic of Indonesia. The Netherlands officially transferred the sovereignty of the Republic to the Republic of Indonesia, following the first time that all the people of Indonesia are independent and united under one government. For many Indonesians, the years of struggle for freedom finally ended. The United Nations released a statement on its anticipation of welcoming a new nation into its membership. Two of the major embassies are already informing their intent to recognize the new government's famed nationalist hero Sukarno and his new president. He has promised to tirelessly work for better for all Indonesians. Great. Most likely won't work. Yeah, they got their leader. Still not doing the actual focus tree, but hey. Again, now Kurdish ground forces. You're a few days more doing that, you're doing that, you're doing that, you're doing that, you're doing... That's not it. Or doing that. You're doing that, you're doing that, you're doing that. You don't exist. That's not what I was trying to click on. got the wrong flag too. And you're doing that. The Declaration of the Republic of Indonesia. India has achieved independence from the British Raj on the 15th of August 1947. Independence came through the Indian Independence Act in 1947, an Act of Parliament of the United Kingdom, partition of British India into two new independent domains of British Commonwealth. India obtained independence on the 15th of August 1947 to a constitutional monarchy with George the Sixth as head of state and Earl Mountbatten as Governor General. In 29th August 1947, drafting committee was appointed to draft the permanent constitution with B.R. Ambedkar as chairman. As draft constitution was prepared by a IV committee and submitted to the Constituent Assembly. The Assembly met in a session open to public in 166 days, spread over a period of 2 years before adopting Constitution. Even after many deliberations and some modifications, the members of the Assembly have signed two handwritten copies of the document. Congratulations. We also just finished that focus tree. Well, focus, not focus tree. Gotta wait till 1954 to get that socialist Austria. While we're waiting, that's freeze. We're probably to get the power of those loyal to Stalin. Well, that's happening. Catch up to Western atomic research. Nuclear powers, both weaponized and peaceful, will be one of the deciding factors of our upcoming struggle for survival. We cannot afford to remain behind the Americans in this field. The Socialist Republic of Turkey founded. Cool flag. The Soviet military government in Turkey under General Pavel Batov announced the formal establishment of the Socialist Republic of Turkey. The general declared that by the end of the month, the 100,000 mostly Turkish soldiers of the Red Army will be withdrawn from Anatolia, and authorities will be transferred to the civilian government under General Secretary Safik Hosnu. International observers on both sides of the Iron Curtain expect the transition to be smooth, peaceful as Soviet soldiers leave and the new nation as conquerors. The US and her allies can only watch the horror as the Soviet steamroller claims another country. Concerning. Please do not do that and get the General Secretary. It's gonna go for armed focus, I bet. Knew it, the Turkish Workers' Liberation Armed Forces. They always do this, man. Okay, two things. A, China has officially won the Civil War. Well done, China. B, the Greek Red Terror has been announced. And you're doing relationship with the Soviet world. The Greek Red Terror. Following the victory of the Democratic Republic of Greece, which is the LDE. In recent civil war, the new government initiated a red terror across Greece. Those accused of collaborating with the fascists during the Axis occupation and spoils the Kingdom of Greece, and those within the party whose loyalty is suspected of are being arrested, and there's already reports of summary execution and new courts being established. The DE, not DRG, is calling for all Greeks to help the Communist Party identify traitors and claim the revolution can only begin to flourish once all internal enemies are dealt with. Barbaric. We did the exact same thing, so we can't complain. The Republic of China is in Taiwan. The second phase of the Chinese Civil War has come to an end. The Chinese Republic of China and the People's Republic of China have been fighting for 3 years now, even before they were fighting since 1927 up until 1936, when China was invaded by the Japanese Empire. After the World War II, the fighting resumed similar till 1948. In 1948, the Communist Chinese force broke through Beijing and went into central China, causing several hundreds of thousands of the democratic Chinese soldiers to encircle this year. However, there were peace talks with Marshall Mission, the Marshall Mission being a possible armistice division of China or peace plan. The plan failed, and the fighting continued with the Yangtze offensive into southern China, whilst several routes by the Republic of China and the Republican government had fled to the island of Taiwan. Chiang Kai-shek said that the Republic of China lives on, and one day the Chinese Republic of China and its flag will be waved over mainland China once again. Reports of hundreds of thousands of soldiers and refugees fleeing to Burma and Thailand and Taiwan. Yeah, here's the Burmese group, the Yunnan Anti-Communist National Salvation Army under Lee Me Nuts. That was terrible. Technically, some soldiers here, so let's just round them up and kill them. The Soviet RD-1 on nuclear tests. The Soviet Union successfully tested the first nuclear weapon in Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic. The tiny 2 kiloton yield device is designed by Kurchatov Institute and armed with plutonium produced at Chelyabinsk 40 nuclear facility. The bomb itself resembles an American Fat Man bomb dropped on Nagasaki. The Soviet designed test as the RDS-1. If successful, is viewed as a culmination of intense Soviet research and development to counter the monopoly of nuclear weapons enjoyed by the United States. The Kremlin warmly congratulates the scientists and officials who made this great achievement. The American government discovered the tests after an Air Force weather recon aircraft collected samples confirming the nuclear detonation. As a result, as news spreads, Western intelligence services will be baffled as they did not expect the Soviets to achieve a nuclear detonation for a number of years, one step closer to midnight. We're surprisingly not at peace yet, which makes no sense. You literally are. The focus thing went off to say you're at peace. Yeah, maybe it's because there's still units. I don't have a goddamn clue. My game is lagging hard. I'll continue on. Malayan crisis, because usually the communist Malayan National Liberation Army keeps them dying too quickly. Rest in peace, South Malacca. Landau air disaster. Tragedy struck in the afternoon of Landau Aerodrome as an Avro Tudor V named Stargirl crashed after attempting to land at the Landau Aerodrome. Eyewitnesses said the aircraft approached the runway at an abnormally low altitude with its undercarriage down and the only 3 people survived the crash, while 8 had made it to the hospital but died due to their wounds. As it stands, it's the most deadly air incident in Wales. A tragedy, truly. Rest in peace, the Welsh. Is that the Doom guy? Alexander Frovlov. Looks like the Doom guy. Let's get him. Instead of killing National Socialists, you can be killing capitalists. Afghans collapsing quicker than expected. That was exceeding. Well, the fall of the Afghan monarchy. Word has come from the Kingdom of Afghanistan that there no longer is a kingdom. The previous Prime Minister, Shah Mahmud Khan, was executed today at a downtown Kabul. His corpse was dumped in the street. Afghanistan's reigning monarchy, Mohammed Zabir Shah, and the rest of House Barakas, as its status is unknown. At the time of ending 200 years of royal rule in Afghanistan, the political party of Hizb il-Siri Ittihad was responsible for the overthrow, and its men led by Ismail Balki. The motivation for the seize of power is unknown at this moment, as right now, but one can assume they're not happy with the authoritarian ways of the previous administration or with the eyes of the new government, and what actions they will undertake to improve the conditions of the people. Surprising turn of events. Okay. It's now a republic. I'm getting the vibe these guys may be Islamists. It's a stretch, but I'm getting the vibe. Hoi4 South Maluku's day. Locker. How do you say it? Rest in peace, chums. I swear the guy's face changed. Sorry it cut out for a second because the thing was not recording. The thing collapsed its recording, to be exact. Cut off, and when trying to re-record it, it seemed to have failed, and I just couldn't get the thing to work. Don't know why. But anyway, the video is now ending. I'm deeply sorry you couldn't read those. Basically, Afghanistan and Pakistan are justifying on each other, and a religious scandal is happening in Egypt with one of the daughters of the king. And with that, and also going over the focuses of our allies, us allowing him to invade, them making AKs, them making an army, them doing propaganda, them reaffirming loyalty, them making planes, them doing industrialization, them not existing yet, them denouncing class enemies, them creating an air force, them creating anti-air defenses, that's not even them, and them protecting ethnic minorities. And with that, that is all. I'll be back sometime next week. I don't know when, but it will be 30 minutes longer no matter what. If you want more Helldivers, I'm not doing voting like the Soviet Union. Democracy is dead. But other than that, if you want to see more Helldivers, please comment it. But other than that, good day, goodbye. I will see you next time. This is Master Limited signing out. Good day, goodbye, goodbye. Also, happy Christmas. I will do a comment thing where I reference all the people who have either commented or subscribed to my knowledge of at least. I've got my YouTube analytics that shows me the ones that publicly are known for subscribing. You'll be in the comments as well as a few other names. Alright, good day, goodbye, goodbye.